Go get them, President Trump. Reduce that spending. We're behind you 1,000%. Well, he has. He has. 0.1% he's asking us to reduce. And I'm not saying senators shouldn't ask questions and make some changes if they need to be made, but here's the bottom line. It is gut check time. It is gut check time. You either believe in reducing spending or you don't. We're giving $3,600,000 to Haiti for pastry cooking classes, for cyber cafes, for dance focus groups, for male prostitutes. The president's saying, I don't think so. I don't think that the American people support giving their hard-earned money to male prostitutes in Haiti. So he's asking us to cut it out. He's asking us to reduce the budget by $833,000 because some of President Biden's bureaucrats gave a contract to transgender people, sex workers, and their clients in Nepal. That's why I call it spending porn. Triggers your gag reflex. You look at this stuff and you go, what in God's name? And so I'll offer these bills tomorrow, and people can vote yay or they can vote nay. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You just saw that clip from Senator John Kennedy, and that is exactly what we're talking about today. The government is shut down again. Regular, hard-working Americans are the ones hurting, while Congress is still getting paid. It's the worst kind of hypocrisy, and Senator Kennedy is one of the only people out there with the guts to call it out. We're going to watch a full breakdown of his plan to fix this, and his absolutely savage reaction to the Democrats' proposal to fix it. Let me tell you, it is a wild ride. Is this the only common-sense solution we've got? Let me know what you think in the comments as we go, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're tired of the spin and just want to hear the truth. All right, let's roll the full clip.
Tomorrow I will be bringing two bills before the Senate. They both have to do with the shutdown and Congressional Bay. The first bill is the No Shutdown Paychecks Act. The second bill is the Withhold Member Pay During Shutdowns Act. The first bill would provide that as long as we're shut down, and I'll explain why in a moment, as long as we're shut down, no member of Congress can be paid. And the money will not be reimbursed at a later date or repaid at a later date. The second bill, to address any 27th Amendment concerns, will say during the shutdown, members of Congress will not receive their pay, but their pay will be escrowed and they will receive it after the government is opened back up. Look, we're in day 36. Like you, Mr. President, I've heard a lot of rumors about we're that close to reaching an agreement. We've been that close for a week. Frankly, I hope I'm wrong in saying this, but I don't think we're really that close. I wish we were, and I hope we are. But I think we're going to be in the shutdown a while longer. That doesn't give me any joy to say that. In the meantime, none of our staffs are being paid. No federal employees are being paid. I got some numbers in this morning that federal workers have had to borrow $365 million so far during this 36-day shutdown in order just to pay their rent. Our military is only being paid partially. Our air traffic controllers are not being paid. People who receive SNAP payments are only being partially paid. I don't think anybody wants to see anybody go hungry in America, and that's not a partisan statement. I think that's a bipartisan statement. There's precedent for this, Mr. President. Some may say, well, this violates the 27th Amendment. I don't think it does. That's why I'm offering two different flavors of bills. But in 2013, President Obama did the same thing that I'm doing now. They were in a shutdown, and President Obama supported legislation that said, if you don't open up government by this certain date, then you're going to lose your paychecks. And guess what? Members of Congress had an epiphany, and they found religion. They had a Damascene moment, and they opened up government. And that's all this bill will do. I'm not trying to grandstand. I wasn't going to bring this bill. When I got back here Monday, I heard all the rumors like everybody else that we were close. And I hope we are close, but we're not close enough. And so I'll offer these bills tomorrow, and people can vote yay or they can vote nay. But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's your name?
Here would be great.
Just your reaction to this Democrats' proposal. They'll reopen the government if you give them a 1 year.
Yeah, I listened to Senator Schumer's speech. Here's my reaction. God, please give me patience, because if God gives me strength, I'm going to need bail money. What Senator Schumer is suggesting is that we don't do the dumbest thing possible that won't work. Stupid should hurt more. He's saying that we should extend the status quo for a year. What does that mean? That means he wants us to take $35 billion of taxpayer money and give it to the health insurance companies with no guarantee that they will lower premiums. Now, how is that going to reduce the cost of health care? How's that going to reduce premiums? I can tell you what the health insurance company is going to do. They're going to say, thank you very much, and put the money in their pocket. And that's just obvious. And Chuck knows the law. He knows what the statute provides. I mean, earth to Chuck. I don't know what my colleagues are going to do. I can tell you how I'm going to vote. If you ask me how I'm going to vote, the short answer is no. The long answer is hell no.
But Senator, how much longer do you think this shutdown is going to go for?
Well, last night we thought that there were around 7 or 8 Democrats who were very close to working an agreement with us to open up and then have the vote on what Senator Schumer is asking us to guarantee. And I said then it would probably be, if they were in good faith, it would be a minimum of 7 days and probably more likely 10 days to 2 weeks. Now all that's off the table. I think we're going to be in a shutdown for a while. Have you seen? Did you see the original Star Wars?
Yeah.
Remember the cantina bar scene in the original Star Wars? Well, that's what things are like in the Senate right now. It's an intergalactic freak show, and if we've learned anything from this shutdown, what we've learned is, and it gives me no joy to say this, we've learned that the Obamacare exchanges just didn't work. We were told they would lower the cost of health insurance and that it would make health insurance more accessible. It's done neither. And we need to fix it. We need to design Obamacare subsidies or Obamacare exchanges like somebody designed them on purpose. What Chuck's proposing is we just maintain the status quo. That's just putting a fresh coat of paint on rotten wood.
Okay, let's just take a minute and break down what we just saw. You get 2 different Senator Kennedys there, right? You get the formal professional senator on the floor laying out a logical plan, and then you get the hallway Kennedy who is just completely unfiltered saying what we're all thinking. And the best part? The message is exactly the same. Let's start with that Senate floor speech. He gets up there and says, I'm going to be uncharacteristically brief. You gotta love a guy with that kind of self-awareness. But he gets right to the point. It is day 36 of the shutdown. And he's not just talking politics. He lists off the real people who are getting crushed by this. Federal workers, our military who are only getting partially paid, air traffic controllers, the people keeping us safe in the sky, not getting a dime. He says federal workers have had to borrow $365 million just to pay rent and buy groceries. These are real families being held hostage by DC gridlock. And then he drops the hammer. He points out the one group of people who are doing just fine. Congress. They still get their paychecks. How is that fair? It's not. And his solution is pure common sense. He's got two bills. The No Shutdown Paychecks Act. This one's my favorite. You shut down the government, you don't get paid, period. No IOUs. No, we'll pay you back later. You don't work, you don't get paid. The Withhold Member Pay Act. This is the safer version for all the lawyers who are worried about the 27th Amendment. This one says, okay, fine. We'll escrow your pay. You'll get it as soon as you do your job and open the government back up. Either way, the result is the same. It forces Congress to feel the same pain that they're inflicting on everybody else. And for anyone who says this is some crazy radical idea, Kennedy points out that President Obama did the exact same thing in 2013, and guess what? Magically, Congress had an epiphany and found a way to open the government. It's amazing how fast people find common ground when their own paychecks are on the line. Kennedy's right. He's not grandstanding, he's just stating the obvious. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. It's that simple. The unreasonable proposal. Okay, so then we get to part 2, the hallway interview. This is where it gets nuts. A reporter runs up and asks him for his reaction to Senator Chuck Schumer's Democrat proposal to reopen the government. And Kennedy's first reaction is just priceless. He stops, looks up, and says, God, please give me patience. Because if God gives me strength, I'm going to need bail money. I mean, come on, that is an all-time line. He is basically telling you, this proposal is so dumb it's making me angry. He literally says, stupid should hurt more. And then he explains why it's so unreasonable. The media just says, oh, the Democrats have a plan to reopen the government. That sounds nice, doesn't it? But Kennedy pulls back the curtain. He says Schumer's plan is to extend the status quo. And what does that mean? It means giving minus $35 billion check to health insurance companies. What? Kennedy explains that this is all it is, a giant bailout to prop up the failing Obamacare exchanges. He says there is no guarantee this money will lower premiums for a single American. The insurance companies are just going to take that $35 billion and put it right in their pockets. This is why Kennedy is so ticked off. He's not just throwing insults. He's furious because the other side is using the pain of federal workers as leverage. They are holding the government hostage to get a multi-billion-dollar bailout for a system that, as Kennedy says, just didn't work. He calls it putting a fresh coat of paint on rotten wood. And that's the perfect description. It's not a serious solution. It's a backroom deal, plain and simple. My final take. So at the end of the day, this is the intergalactic freak show that Senator Kennedy is talking about. You have one side, Kennedy, saying, this is a crisis, let's make Congress accountable, let's stop our own pay until we fix it. And you have the other side, Schumer, saying, this is a crisis, let's use it to give $35 billion to insurance companies. One of those is common sense. The other is the exact reason everyone hates Washington, D.C. I don't know about you, but I'm with Kennedy on this one. He's cutting right through the nonsense, and we need a whole lot more of that. That's just my take. What do you all think? Is Kennedy's no-pay plan the only fair solution? And is Schumer's proposal really just a bailout? Let me know everything you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.